We're in the peak summer mode here at Sanford Prime, and there's so many things to do outdoors here in the northern hemisphere this time of year, one of which is to find a cool spot near water to relax while watching the boats go by. Or if you have a boat, spread on the sunscreen and get on it to catch a cool breeze. Any sort of way to get the kids off their electronics and soak down is always a plus. For me, summertime boating ranks right up there with 3D printing, but I found a way to join my two favorite hobbies together, boating and 3D printing. I might be boating, but my mind is partially on how the next print is progressing, and what's the next 3D printed complement to this experience. I'm about to show you some boating 3D prints that may improve upon your enjoyment of summer and impress all your friends in the process. So, stick around. Worst case, you might find something you'd like to print. Alright, my life might be old-fashioned, but I still find the need to carry some of these things around with me wherever I go. Unfortunately, they're made of metal, and physics dictates that they sink in water. Yeah, I'm not going to bore you by going through all the countless hours of design work here. I'm just going to send it to the studio and slice it up. This thing is estimated to cost 70 cents, and it takes just over an hour to print. By choosing the proper infill, I was able to give it a bulkhead-like internal design as well. I mean, why not? It worked for some of the world's largest passenger ships, right? Kidding aside, the bulkheads do have some merit. Also, I kind of needed some internal supports to hold the top from sagging. And just like that, it's a keychain floaty. Or a cool spinny thing if you want it just for that. Okay, so here it is, but it's a different color now. Well, I also printed it in that pink and this green, just running through the colors on my AMS. I even found some pretty bright orange filament laying around that I thought would look good for this. The original red one here, and my favorite, this high-vis yellow. The more I look at the word boat now, the more it looks misspelled to me, but I keep telling myself that it's right. These prints are missing something though. Luckily I was able to run into town and grab some ball and chain strands, or stranded ball and chain? Keychain balls? I don't really know what to call them. Let's just get them open. 10 individual strands here. I might have to find another use for the rest of these things someday. Let's just get to the clicky ASMR part here. All 5 threaded right up, but they're missing the most important part. Let's get a key on the one and see what it looks like. One more click. There it is, the totally generic boat keychain. But the big question I have now is, does it float? For that, step with me over into the controlled test lab, where I'm about to see what this thing can do. Yeah, I'd say it worked. So I wanted to come up with another design different from the run-of-the-mill shape. I actually bounced this one from a previous design I posted of a shot glass roulette wheel that was actually pretty fun to do. Anyways, I found myself modeling a couple of different shot glasses just to get the proper fit in the holders, and I wanted to use the solo cup version of this to make a new floaty. So I closed the top of the model and added a little hole in the top as well. With the 2 colors, there ended up being 17 color changes, and to print just one of these, it totaled up to just under 2 hours. I found out that for the same amount of color change purge, I could put one more on there and it only added up to about a half hour total. So that's what I did. You can see here that I went with a bulkhead-like internal supports again for this one, along with multi-layer walls for strength. Don't worry, the hole in the top is a blind hole. It shouldn't leak water into the inside. Anyways, let's get these off of here and go shopping for something that I can use in this hole. For that, I want to use the Bamboo store. Yeah, they don't just provide models to print, they also have the most common accessories that go along with 3D printing. I'm going to click on hardware and look for something I can use in the hole. And I think I found it, this little self-tapping eye bolt. They give you everything you need right here for incorporating it into new designs. There are a couple of different sizes and materials to choose from. I'm going with a 1.8mm thread stainless steel one here in the package of 10. Now I just need something to tie a key to this eye bolt, and I think I see it on the face of this tool and other category here. Oh, that's nice, here's the eye bolt again. Anyways, I already got that one on the cart. I'm looking for the key ring. There it is, it looks like it's a package of 10 also. Perfect. So I printed a few more colors of these in sets of 2. You've seen the yellow already, and I believe you've seen the pink here already. I also did orange, basically all the same colors the other keychain was from. Green, and most famous, the red solo cup. The eyelets got delivered, time to fill the hole. Yup, they look as described, along with the keyring here. You know, this just might work. Let's get these things open and get the show on the road. Alright, the hole in the top is at the minor thread diameter. I'm hoping that the side bolt will just cut its own threads here. Only one way to find out. Yeah, not bad. Actually went in quite snug. Snug enough for me to realize that I have delicate fingertips. I'd rather use a plier to screw in the remaining 9 of these. Yeah, that helped, but awkward to get started. So I'm just going to start the first couple of threads on each by hand, then come back around to finish tightening them up with the pliers. Phase 1 complete. Eye bolt installed. Now I just got to figure out a way to get the key ring on. It looks like each one of these has an extra piece of wire through the key loop. I don't know if I'm supposed to use it somehow here or if it's a piece from the coating process to hold the sides apart for full coverage. Anyways, it looks like they expect you to bend this larger end loop out to get it around something. Whether that's the way or not, that's what I'm going to do here. Get it closed back up and voila, it's now a floating keychain solo cup. I'm still confused about the scrap of wire here though. Movie magic and just about done with all of them here. These things all turned out better than I expected. I feel like I might have actually seen all these colors as full-size solo cups. Let's see how it holds up with the key attached to it. Yeah, I'm still confused about this scrap of wire left on it. I kinda thought it might be to help get the key started also, but it's just too narrow. Was it intended to be left on there in packaging? Anyways, a key goes on it just fine without it. Let's see about getting this over to the test lab and see how it does. Yep, I didn't have any doubts on this one. Now it's time to compare the two of these with a full test. For that, I just happen to have all of these identical keys for some reason. What do I have, maybe 7 here or so? Each one of these keys weighs about 0.3 ounces, and they're pretty consistent with only a minor deviation with one. Oh yeah, just a thought, some keys aren't magnetic, so retrieval from the bottom of the water could be difficult with a magnet. So let's get the load testing comparison going with these two, starting with 1 key each. No doubts, they both work just fine here. 2 of these heavy keys on each one. Again, each is just fine here, but the Oblong one is hanging pretty deep. It's still a pass. 3 keys on each. Oh no. Looks like the Oblong one just dropped out of the competition. No worries, I'm just going to keep going with 4 keys on this solo cup. Hanging low, but still a pass in my book. 5 keys. Yep, pretty impressive. 6 keys. And there it finally goes slowly down to the bottom. Not bad. I'm not even sure if I have 6 actual keys I use regularly on a single keychain anywhere. Alright, I think I beat that one up enough here. I generally don't notice it, but the cement on my parking pad has an ever so slight slope to it. Maybe something like 1/4 inch per 4 foot or something. It's just enough to get water to drain away, but it can cause some issues if the boat trailer has a jack with a wheel on the front of it. It's just enough slope that sometimes I play games trying to get the boat trailer to stay in place when disconnected from the truck. I've been guilty of just grabbing whatever I have laying around to jam under the tires, sometimes without the best results. But I've learned what works and what doesn't. So I thought I would try using a 3D print to hold the trailer in place. No, not just any old 3D print. Good job so far, but you're safe there, buddy.
Squirtle, squirtle.
I want to design something that this is its intended function. For that I just need to grab a few dimensions off the trailer wheel real quick before I get started. Yep, just as I thought. It's round. Okay, I have my initial sketch here and just need to extrude that out a little bit to make it a solid. A couple of teeth on the surfaces to grab the ground and give the tire something to grip to. And just like that, it's already a functional wheel chock. I'd say it looks pretty cool so far, but right now I'll just be relying on the infill to give the chock its strength. I want to change that by adding some eye-pleasing designs that also give more walls through the, what could be potentially hollow, center. Pretty cool looking so far. Add the Sanford prime to the backside, and just a spot to tie a little rope to. It turned out great on the screen here. I'm starting to grow attached to it already. With some design intent, all the hollow features pass fully through, which makes it a great candidate for printing on its side like this. Let's get it sliced so I can see how much filament and time it takes. Not bad at all, 149 grams of filament and a little over 19 hours for one chock here. That's actually pretty impressive for the number of walls I gave it and the infill percent. I didn't want to sacrifice any strength here, as it was going to be something that was functional to stop a heavy trailer from rolling away. Enough with that, let's get it going to the printer. Turned out great. My first impression is that it's quite heavy though. Even the horizontal hole came in perfect here for the rope. Okay, I just have to check something. I feel like this thing used half of a brand new filament spool on me. I'm just going to give it a quick weigh here since I have my scale handy. Alright, 16 ounces, which is about a pound. A spool is 1 kilogram, which is a little over 2 pounds. This thing is half a spool. I thought I was going to get at least 4 out of a spool. Yeah, 452 grams. That's not what I expected here. Well, I found my error. I was looking at the meters of filament used, thinking it was grams of filament. Was thinking wrong the whole time. Well, anyways, this thing takes nearly a half a spool. Feel like I let myself down at this point, but let's keep it going and get this rope tied in there. This is just some rope I found in the camping section. Might be for a clothesline or something. I'd like to print too, but I don't know if I want to burn up that much filament. I just cracked that spool. Putting the rope on here definitely makes it easier to store too. Well, let's get on with the testing. Alright, just your ordinary wheel chock, nothing special to see here. The jam's in there better than I expected. Kinda has some grip just by doing this, almost a locking angle thing going on. You can see here that it just jams in there and doesn't move. Well, let's give this thing a real test. And how about this? If it doesn't break, I'll print another one. I just moved the trailer into the yard here for this one so I can pull the trailer over it. And this isn't just a trailer, it's a trailer and boat. This thing weighs about a ton dry, and right now it has a full tank of gas and some gear on it. Without further ado, let's get going with it. That did better than I expected. Didn't even hear anything break. I thought the trailer would lift more, but it just drove the chock into the ground. But end of the day it passed, and it passed well. I can't believe it just drilled a hole in the ground like that, honestly. And now I have another one to use. Let's just keep them stored where everyone can see them here. Moving on. Has anyone used these cheap netted dorm room hampers on their boats for collecting cans? They work, but you can only imagine the cans leaking all over the place through the sides. So we resorted to reusing plastic shopping bags, but they blow all over the place and sometimes it's difficult to find where to put the can into. I can fix the blowing all over the place issue by tying it to something. but it's still difficult to find the opening to put the can in, so I designed something to help with this. It's a bag holder that works just like a trash can with a lid and all. My thought is I can mount it right to the windshield support here so that it's out of the way. Some of you might be wondering, why collect cans? Well, where I live there's a 10-cent deposit on each individual can, and let's be honest, boating ain't cheap. For this one to work properly and have a long life, I decided to use real screws on it. The screws themselves should press right into the 5-lobe hand knob. And the nut I want to press right into the housing here so it doesn't come out. I made a hopefully springy ring here that I intend to drape the bag through with the top hanging over the ring. Then the bag would be held in place with a tapered insert that holds the bag open and has the lid attached. I want this thing to be quickly removable for when the boat needs to get going. So I made the bag holder a drop-in quick mount, the piece that would already be clamped to the windshield support. The tapered insert holds the lid and has these little cutouts on either side with some tapered holes that the hinge should just snap into. Each side is the same and the lid has a tapered boss on it that I'm hoping can flex enough just to snap in without breaking. I'd like to just print the whole thing, but this is the part I'm concerned about right now. So to ease my mind, I'm just going to get a quick test print going with those sections that I can evaluate. If it doesn't work, I'd rather know now, sooner than later. A couple minutes of time and a little bit of filament to save a couple of hours of time and a lot of filament. With the test pieces done and supports removed, I can see if I need to make any changes before I get too far into it. I have my pin side and the tapered hole here. Hopefully I'm guessing right and everything just fits. Well, it went together, and it's a bonus that it went together and actually pivots freely. It's a little bit loose and wobbly, but it seems to hold. Good enough for me. Let's get all the parts going and see what I'm up against here for time and material. All the parts fit nicely onto the print bed, so one print session and all the parts are done. 95 grams of filament total, 4¼ hours of print time, and it's an estimated cost of $2.85. Let's get it to the printer. First layer is looking good here, using the AMS, and you can see the multicolor lettering. It's printing backwards because it's face down right now. Let's let it finish up. See you in 4 hours. Okay, the knobs didn't fall over, that's great. I have the springy bag holder part here. The spring feels pretty good. I'll try not to break it. The clamp to attach the whole thing to the windshield support. Ooh, I didn't realize it added supports to the holes that the hex nuts press into. The lid holder with a few supports. Ooh, they're on there. And then the lid, which has the can label on it so everyone knows what it's for. Being able to add multicolored print lettering is a really nice feature of AMS capable printers. I'm finding myself using it more and more. Now that I have all the parts, I can start getting things cleaned up and assembled. I want to start with the screws going into the hand knobs. For this, I was able to find 2 M5 hex heads at 35mm long and 2 standard M5 hex nuts. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you might recognize that these knobs actually come from a GoPro adapted cell phone holder I already had. This one didn't take long to design since I was able to overcome some of the design hurdles by just reapplying some older designs into this new design. And I thought I had everything going great until I went to insert the screw thinking it would be a press fit, but it just fell in loosely. I quickly came to the realization that the first time I printed these was on my old Ender 3. I loved that thing, but I'm sure it just didn't have the precision that these new ones have. So that was just a repeat part. I'm going to adjust the fits here so that it works in just a little bit. For now though, it has me nervous about the other press in place item. I want to see if the nuts press in place like I intended. Oh yeah, it's going to work just fine. I can already feel that it's going to be a snug fit. Just like that, I have some metal thread inserts by using a regular hex nut instead of buying heat inserts or simply threading into the plastic. Let's get the other side in there and line it up with the clearance hole. Yeah, I'd say that's going to work really good. For the knobs, I just want to get going with these knobs and avoid reprinting for now. So I'm just going to super glue them in place and hope they hold. Well, I didn't think about that. I just pushed all the threads through the super glue. Gonna be careful not to touch these for a moment. A little bit of supports left on these that still need to be picked off. came away pretty smooth there. Alright, so this is the part that the cover pivots on with these little divots in the sides of these two cutaways. It doesn't matter right now which side I put it into because the divots are in both places. Just kind of snap it right in there, and now I have a functional lid to open and close. Pretty neat so far. Next, I just have to slide this into the spring-loaded holder. This thing's going together great. I know, a lot of pieces to this thing for what it is. But this whole rim assembly now just sits into the piece that's already clamped into the windshield support where I plan on putting it. When I have to dispose of a can, I can now just lift the lid, drop the can in, and not worry about it anymore. I still got to get the mounting base put together to fully assemble this thing on the bench though before I get it into the boat. Let's see if the super glue is dry yet over here. Oh yeah, the blob is a little bit tacky yet, but the screw is held in place pretty tight. And this one looks good too. Let's get it all together here. Looks like a lot of thread right now, but when this thing clamps around the post, it should be held apart a little bit. Get the second one in there. Perfect. Looking at this thing, it could eventually turn into a handlebar mount for stuff. Anyways, let's not get ahead of myself and stick to the task at hand here. All done now. Let's get it mounted and test it out. So when I was putting this thing on, I realized I made a pretty big mistake. You can probably tell just by looking at how far apart this side ended up. For now, I'm just going to try to make it work though by squeezing it around to get the thread started, and just draw it in with the knob. Usually I can look at stuff and estimate to about 4 decimal places, but when I went back and actually measured the windshield support, I quickly learned that my estimation was way off. This post measures 7/8 of an inch and not the 3/4 of an inch I guessed at, but it still fits thank you to somewhat flexible plastic. To see the whole thing in action here, I'll just put the removable piece in. It's a little bit wobbly, but it holds. I'll have to fix that before I get the models for this posted. Speaking of fixing that, I also now have 2 clamps for 2 different diameters, one for 7/8 of an inch and one for 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so you're probably wondering how this works with the bag. Well, similar to a trash can, just put the bag into the springy holder here. Then just snap the lid assembly into it to hold the bag in place. It's now ready for action. When done for the day, just pop the top part off and pull the bag of cans out. Or if you're not done for the day and just running about, the upper assembly can just be pulled out of the fixed holder and you can quickly get on your way. When you get to your next destination, the bag and holder can simply be placed back into position. So now that we have a can holder in the boat, we also need a good place for trash to go. So a quick change to the cover, and now we have a trash holder that works the same way and uses the same bracket the can holder did. These things have so far been able to keep the boat clean on longer excursions with nobody wondering where to put stuff. One improvement I was able to make through this whole thing was the cover itself. When I made the can cover, I thought it was a little bit loose and it could possibly fall off. I did do the test piece, but maybe with longer lever arm it just feels more jiggly. I decided when I did the trash lid that I would tighten both the covers up a bit. It was a quick fix here. I just made the nubs a little bit larger and didn't even have to change any of the other parts. This one snaps in there pretty tightly, which is a good thing. It feels like it holds way more secure. No more jiggles here. The next one here is a little simpler. It kind of just looks like a weird button so far. But fast forwarding through the design a bit, it quickly takes form. It's Pac-Man. Well, I went to print it and found out that I didn't like the way the downward facing fillets were coming out. Probably a bad choice there with the design, and probably also another bad choice to try and remove it from the print bed while it's still hot. But I was anxious to get the next version of the design going. I decided to change the fillets into straight chamfers to hopefully help with the printability. I just hope that it doesn't mess up the functionality of it at all. Well, printability definitely improved. Let's get it off of here so I can show you all what this thing is supposed to do. Have you guessed what it is yet? I'll give you a hint. This Pac-Man-like mouth is tapered to hold a rope securely. The rope has a specific path to follow. Up through this hole, over the mouth, into the top hole, then back through the last hole, under the first rope, and down into the mouth. What am I doing here? We're all visual learners, I'm sure. Why don't I just grab a rope? Up through the bottom hole below the mouth, over the mouth and down the top hole, then back up through the last hole, under the first rope's path and down into the mouth. That now gives me a loop on the backside that I can tie a dock line, buoy, or bumper to. In this case, I've attached it to a fender bumper. I can easily adjust the length of the rope by pulling the loose end. When it's set, I just put the loose end of the rope into the mouth and it should hold pretty secure. Yeah, that's not bad. But I do still have a problem with it. I didn't check to see where this thing would be equilibrium-wise when everything was going together, and ultimately ended up with the mouth pointing downward, which is less than ideal in this situation. Won't take much and this rope can come loose, so I feel this is something that I want to fix real quick. I want to angle this mouth upward a little bit, maybe even as far as I can go comfortably. That looks better to me now, knowing what I've seen already. Version 1 here still works and could still be used, but this second version here I think I'll like better for at least bumpers. When the bumper weight hangs down, the mouth is still going to be pointed upward slightly, making the rope less likely to fall out. Same path of the rope, up through the bottom hole, over the mouth and down through the top hole, up through the last hole, under the rope and into the mouth. I can already see that the mouth is angled upward ever so slightly now. Let's check out the functionality here. Yeah, not bad there either. With this bumper, I'm pulling pretty hard down on it, and it's just not budging at all. One more demonstration of rope path. I'm not too bad with tying dock lines or attaching ropes to cleats or other things, but some of the guests on the boat have been. I would hope that if this is pre-assembled on some of the ropes that are used often, it would be pretty simple to figure out. Then if the boat ever does float away, I only have myself to blame. I think that this thing could be used even for camping and other stuff like a quick clothesline or gear bag or something. It actually works pretty good. Okay, this one wasn't really a boating thing, but I have to mention it anyways. Kind of a bonus print. You've probably seen the 6-pack cooler already if you've been following the channel. I had a couple requests to make a bigger one, so I quietly posted one to Makerworld, large enough to hold 6 16-ounce cans. Call it the 6-pounder. And like always, I'll also post the models you've seen here to Makerworld for you to download for free. Links are in the description to each one. Thanks for watching.